Hey, good morning, everyone, and thanks for checking out your latest long-range forecast update. Michael Clark here with BAM Weather with a quick update here today on the pattern and kind of where we're going here over the next couple weeks with the latest thought processes in mind, if you will. So we'll dive right into it. 14-day precipitation departure from normal continues to show the areas that really have just kind of failed to cash in on the bigger, more plentiful rain, if you will, which is back out here across the central and western Corn Belt. This is where we're going to continue to keep temperatures very warm and potentially have the risk here, at least, of below normal precipitation patterns to continue without seeing any widespread, beneficial big rain events, if you will. We've obviously started off the month very warm here, temperatures from normal. And I think that's something we're going to continue to kind of just be battling here over the course of the next several weeks. This is a look at just temperature departures each day. Day 1, day 2. These are temps from normal, the 30-year average over the last, since 1991 to 2020. This is what is it normally, and when you have departures that are 10 to 15 degrees above that, that means it's not normal. So that means it's not like it gets hot in summer and that kind of thing. That's not what that means. It means it's hotter than that. So it's very important you understand that, all right? This is day 3. Day 4, big front comes in here over the weekend, brings rain. I think we'll be looking at a widespread rain event here this weekend for many locations we'll talk about in just a second. And then that front sweeps to the east, brings a nice refreshing feel to the area by day 6. Day 7, though, watch the heat come back. Day 8, day 9, day 10, we're talking, 7 to 10 degrees above the average temperature for the western half of the Corn Belt and really cooler than average for the eastern half of the Corn Belt. So something to keep in mind. But over the next couple of days, highs in the Central Plains will be getting into the mid and upper 90s and even some 100-degree readings. Radar this morning, we do have some rain across southern Missouri, southern Illinois, central Indiana this morning. A decaying area, weak area of showers here across southern South Dakota, otherwise relatively quiet. You can kind of see the flow around the ridge here. This one moving south, and this one kind of moving up to the north and west around the periphery of the ridge. So let's talk about the weekend front I just mentioned. This is the European weather model. Again, here's the ongoing rain threat, the stalled out boundary, kind of even persisting here through Friday afternoon across the southern Ohio River Valley into the Kentucky, Tennessee Valley here. And then as we go forward, we're going to watch this front up here to the north that will start to sag south and bring with it rainfall chances. All right. And again, it's possible, if the European model, which is the one we're siding with, is correct, it's possible we're looking at some rain up here, a decent rain here, Saturday into Sunday across the northern plains. Now, there's other data that's drier than this. This isn't really a slam dunk yet. We got to keep that in mind, but we are siding with the European in regards to how we're presenting it. Front sag south Sunday night into Monday, and more rain would accompany it here across Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, and kind of linger for the day Monday into Tuesday as the front, again, slowly starts to creep out of the area. That's where we have that nice, cool day 6 and 7 blue forecast I showed you about. But you can see the front sprawled out, drier conditions return back to the Central Plains, really out through day 7. And you can see here, looking at the total rainfall, this is out through 7 days on the European weather model. Again, it's important to preface the northern part of this with some uncertainty. Regardless, this is a good rain for eastern South Dakota, southern Minnesota, northern Iowa, southwest Wisconsin. Very, very heavily populated corn crop area here. And then in the eastern belt, we'll continue to add some rain to it here, again with some cooler temperatures as well. Now, the interesting part is beyond this, the weather models get really dry, and I'm not necessarily sure that they're all that correct. I want to kind of talk to you about the pattern real quick. This is the pattern in the 1 to 5 day, and you can see what's happening is it's producing rainfall. We're getting rain here currently, right? And as we're getting rain around the southwest periphery of the base of the ridge down here as well. And so we take this into the 6 to 10 where the models start to get really dry. And the same thing is kind of happening where we still have this flow, this northwest flow around the periphery of the ridge. It's just in our opinion that we think the data is just too dry. And I think that there can continue to be rain and storm cluster chances. Again, some places get it, some places won't, but it's not a bone dry, paint the map red forecast, in our opinion here. It's a drier than average forecast for sure for a lot of the area, but it's just not a bone dry one. We can get out to the 11 to 15. The driest of you is going to be here across this right here, western Iowa, southern South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, northern Texas. That's where you're under the ridge, and I think most of the activity will be here and then kind of up over the top, and that's reflected in our week 2 precipitation forecast right here. All right, I do think there is a dry spot in the ag belt week 2 for sure, but I think again you've got the doors open here and the doors open here for at or above normal precip. Okay, so it's something to certainly I want you to keep in mind there going forward over the course of getting out into week 2. Okay. So here, I want to show you something real quick, and then we're going to wrap this up. But beyond week 2, okay, because I think that I actually had a map here I wanted to show you guys. Hang on one second. There we go. This is our week 2 temperature forecast map. And my point to showing you this is beyond week 2, I want to talk about the persistence in the pattern. But this is a blend of the European, Canadian, and American model ensembles, keeping the core of the warmth and the above normal temperatures really centered here in the central and western Corn Belt. Cooler risks are going to start showing up here as we get deeper into August, in my opinion, especially into September, possibly wetter too. Keep that in mind. Good news for soybeans in the east, there's no question. Not the best news for the western half of the Corn Belt. The reason I say that is because the August analogs we've been using for the Pacific Ocean analogs continue to show that all of this big, above normal warmth focused here in the central U.S. is going to continue to be a persistent pattern into August. And the model looks very similar to this, right? The data and the analogs, they're talking. They look like this. There's no question about it. I think this is going to continue to be a persistent setup. All right. The other thing is that the PDO analogs, they're drier than average. Here's what I think happens. I think this that you see here, in reality, this year is just tugged a little bit further south and west, but still a generalized, not a bad look here. All right, in terms of the forecast. So when I look at the data, or the American model weekly data, again, here's week 3. Continue to see that warmth in the same spot. Here's week 4, and then even here's week 5. The model doesn't budge with where it's centering the above normal temperatures, which I think is going to shorten the grain fill for the most part of the corn crop. It just is what's going to do. The precipitation departure in that regard looks kind of like what I just said. Here's week 3. There's still opportunity for normal to slightly above normal rainfall. Here's week 4. Again, it's dry, but it's not bone dry. It's just drier than average, especially west. You can see that we have 100% readings here in the east, and then week 5. So it kind of keeps the idea that we're generally just going to be running into problems here. This is the problem spot. The old PS there. How about that? The problem spot. This is the area that could be in better shape. We'll do BS. How about that? Better shape for cooler risks and wetter risks. Good for the beans in the east, bad for the corn in the west. That's the generalized idea right now. If you have questions, let us know. Thanks for checking out today's forecast. We'll talk to you soon.